productive life, but sometimes we just need a little help. Our Coach on Call experts provide strategies to help you live your best life now. Joining me today is Harriet Cabelli, a social worker and positive psychology coach who helps people grow through their challenges and rebuild their lives with renewed meaning and joy. Harriet is here today to discuss happiness. Welcome, Harriet. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Joan. It's great to be here.
So, Harriet, this is a big topic because being happy means something different to each person. How do you define happiness? What does that word mean to you?
Okay, and that's a huge topic for a few minutes, but let's get into a couple of highlights. Happiness, first of all, to me and to many people, certainly in the positive psychology field, is a combination of meaning plus joy. Now, having said that, let's go into it a little bit deeper. So when we think of happiness in general, we think of elation, joy, excitement, all the positive emotions, which is true. It encompasses positive emotions. But we don't stop there because positive emotions tend to be transient. We all know we come in and out of moods, right? We go in and out of happiness and joy and sadness, just like cloud shifting. It's transient, we flow. So if we just connected happiness to just positive emotions, then whenever we felt bad, we'd say, I feel lousy. And we do. We can say that because we do feel lousy. But it encompasses more than just those positive feelings. And I use the word happiness in conjunction with well-being because I think well-being is much more rounded. It involves the meaning aspect as well. The meaning, the fulfillment, the purpose, the significance. It's all of that. It's meanings and value plus the positive emotions. Because when we look at the meaning part, that goes a little bit deeper and it's a little bit more steady and constant than just the positive emotions that we know flow. So we could have a happy life even though we're going through some tough times. Because during those tough times, we're not going to have the, I'm excited, I'm happy, we're going to have the sadness. But that is also part of the human condition and can go along absolutely with well-being. Because well-being, as I said a minute ago, I kind of use synonymously with happiness because I think it's more of that word that encompasses both aspects of meaning and joy. Whereas when we think of happiness, we do simply think of feeling good and just the tra-la-la moments.
So, Harriet, what goes into the inner versus the outer forms of happiness?
In our society nowadays, there's a saying that some of us use, happiness is an inner job. Mm-hmm. Happiness is, it's much more an inner state. And why do we say this? Again, because it's too fleeting otherwise, because feeling good can just go by the wayside any moment. So what does it mean that happiness is an inner job? Well, let's look at two words. So again, this is a Greek term, and I'm trying to say it correctly, eudaimonia. Eudaimonia is a Greek term. Aristotle used it. The EU comes from the word good, and the daimon, D-A-I-M-O-N, comes from the word spirit or truth or divine. So meaning, eudaimonia is more of that inner well-being within ourselves versus hedonism, and we all know that word, or the real word is hedonia, which means pursuing or chasing, where we're pursuing and chasing our happiness and our joys, and that's much more external, and we know that term, hedonistic. It's short-term, it's self-enhancing, it's the momentary pleasures. That doesn't enhance us long-term. That's a short-term piece of joy. The deeper happiness and well-being we get is the more eudaimonia one, where it is more fulfilling and more lasting, and that we connect, again, to what's important to us and what's meaningful to us. It's not where we avoid challenges or we avoid bad things that are going to happen because we can't, but even that, there still could be a sense of great well-being in going through challenges, in how we cope and how well we respond and grow from them. So it becomes much more well-rounded. So we encompass as human beings the full palette of human emotions, the good and the bad. So, of course, we're not going to say we're happy. We feel happy when going through a loss or we get fired from a job. We're not feeling happy and joyful. But within the bad, we also can have variables of strength and overcoming and being able to cope well that later on point to a sense of self-pride, a sense of well-being. I was able to come through this. And that all contributes to a rich, happy, well-lived life. So it's the combination of both the inner and the outer, but it's much more of that inner job that's more sustaining. If we only hook into the materialism or the external, we're a bottomless pit.
Harriet, thank you so much for joining us. If you would like to learn more about this topic or Harriet and her work, you can visit her website, rebuildlifenow.com. And as always, to hear more from Harriet, you can visit our website, cyacyl.com/Harriet. We'll be right back.